Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today is week 12 of the Stash Buster block series, and the block we're doing today is called Sailboat, and this is the block here. And quite frankly, I don't know which orientation this goes in. It may be any of these. I'll have to look it up in the book again to make sure, but it even could be on point. Anyway, this is a 12-inch block, and what we're going to need for that, this is just done in, they're all half square triangles. So if you've worked with me over the last 11 weeks, you've done several half square triangles and you probably have got the hang of this, but we're just going to do them in two different sizes. So for each fabric, you're going to need the same cuts. So I'll go ahead and show you what you're going to need for just your main fabric, and that's what you're also going to need for your background fabric. But you're going to need one large 8 7/8 inch square of your main fabric and your background, and then you're going to need 3 4 7/8 inch squares of your main fabric and your background. And what you're going to do is, as usual, you're going to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner just once on the wrong side of each one of your white squares, your 4 7/8 as well as your 8 7/8 inch squares. Now what you're going to come out with is you're going to have one extra 4-inch half square triangle and one extra 8-inch half square triangle, and you can save those for another block. Like if you want to make a quilt out of these, you can just take that into consideration that you are going to have 2 of those already done, so you'll have an extra one that you can use towards your next block. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my ruler and a pencil, and you can use a pencil, you can use a water-soluble marker or an air-soluble marker, you can use an ink pen, you can use, what is that pen that everybody's so crazy about right now? The Iron Away pen, I can't remember the name of it. I don't use those pens, I do not like them, but I'm kind of in the minority there. Most people do like those, but I don't. So I'm just going to do that on all of them, and I'm just going corner to corner, and this will be the line that will be used to what we're going to do is sew a 1/4 inch on both sides of that drawn line. So get my iron to be quiet there. Okay. So I have my lines drawn on all of my background pieces, and then you match right sides together. So now I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch away from this drawn line on both sides. I've got cotton thread in the bobbin and in the spool, and I've got my stitch length set at 2.5. I'm just going to flip that around and then stitch the next one. And then I want to cut these apart right on the drawn line. Now you can use whatever thread you like to piece with. A lot of people like to use a 60 weight or a 50 weight, and that kind of gives you more accurate piecing because the thread doesn't take up as much space. And I've got a stray thread in there. And then for my large piece, I'm going to do the same. Now this is a piece of hand-dyed fabric, and it doesn't matter which side you use on this. Now with these great big pieces, you may want to put a pin like in the middle to keep it from shifting on you. And you can put more than one pin in there if you want. I think one will suffice, we'll see. Flip it around, give myself a little slack here, and then do the other side. And I'll cut this one apart, and then you only need one of these, and you can save the other one for another block or for another project. I'm going to make another block out of mine. I'm going to make 4 blocks total, just so that I can play around with the blocks and see what kind of designs I can come up with. And then I have to do the other 2 half square triangles. I'm going to do the other 2 half square triangles. And you can piece all of these together if you want to. Following along that drawn line with the right side of my presser foot. I'm just lining up raw edges and making sure that's all squared up. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and chain piece, but I've got to get enough of the fabric under the feed dog so that it'll pull it through. And then I'll flip them around and give myself a little slack here. And then line it up again and then stitch on the other side. Now they're chained together, so I'm going to go ahead and cut those threads there and then cut these apart on the drawn line. And then I'll have 1 half square triangle extra that I won't need for 1 block. I'll just save that for the next block. So I'm just going to lay that aside, put that behind me, and now we're ready to press. And we're going to press towards the dark fabric. So let's scoot my chair over here. I'm trying a new setup here with the camera and see how this works. And it's kind of a little bit awkward because I'm angled out from my wall. I'm not up against the wall anymore. I'm angled. So this is a biased edge now that where it's stitched. So I'm going to be careful and try not to stretch that out of shape. And this red fabric, I've already noticed I got a little water on it, and it's starting to bleed. So if you've got, this is a hand-dyed fabric, so this has been through water a lot and it is still bleeding. So you might want to watch that on any fabrics that you have. So we'll just go ahead and press all of these. Okay, now let's lay out the block. And I'm going to start with the big triangle, and well, it's a square now, the big half square triangle. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the little dog ears. So this one's going to go here, and I forgot to press one of these triangles. Okay, start out with our big triangle, and then we're going to lay out the pieces, and the diagram will be on the blog, and of course you can follow the video, but they all go like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew these three together, and then I'll sew these two together, and then sew this unit to this one, and then this row to here. So we're going to go ahead and start sewing those together. Okay, I just have to watch my seams, make sure they don't flip, and right now they're both going in the direction, they're folded away from the presser foot, so they should be fine. But I'm going to keep that in mind. And the last one in this row. And once again, the seams are going, they're pressed away from the presser foot, so they'll be fine. Now I'm going to do the other two, and I'll do all my pressing at once. So I'm going to go ahead and lay this back, and then I want to sew these two together. Now on this one, this bottom seam is facing the presser foot, so I want to keep an eye on that. And that we're doing okay. Okay, so those will go there, and I'm going to go ahead and press, and I'm going to press these all towards the dark. So we're just going to roll them out this way. And this one will go this way. And if you have steam and you like to use steam, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, now I need to stitch these two together. I have an anti-fatigue mat underneath my chair and it's not easy to roll on that thing, so I might have to remove that if I'm going to keep this set up. Okay. And try that again. It's wanting to go to the side. There we go. Get all my raw edges even. Okay, now I want to press these towards the big triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and press that down and then press it towards the big triangle. Okay, now I need to put these together, and since I pressed this seam here towards the half square triangle and this one towards the big half square triangle, these two seams will nest together, so I won't have any trouble getting those matched up. The thing I do need to watch though is that there is a point here, and I want to keep that point, so I'm going to watch as I stitch over that. I want to make sure that I am not stitching below that point, and you can see that point where the threads cross over. So I want to keep my eye on that. I have a green thread from my previous block. Okay. And I'm just making sure those seams do not flip over. And I'm going to watch where my thread goes, where my needle goes over those threads where they cross. There we go. And we'll see how that point looks. Not too bad. Okay, now ready to press this, and you can press it whichever way you want, and I think I'm going to press it towards the big triangle. Yeah, I think it's gonna go easier that way. Okay, and here we go. Here's the sailboat block. Here it is in red, and then here it is in the blue. So just pick your favorite color and a background and make yourself a sailboat block. I've made 4 of the sailboat blocks, and here they're all laid out, alternating colors, and they're all facing in the same direction. So this is one look that you could have. You could also face them in alternate directions. let's see, we want to go like this and like this. We'll change them, then we're going to face them this direction. And you see you get kind of a square within a square type look, or almost like flying geese in this area here. So that's a different look. What if we face them all towards the center, so you have a big block, like a negative space in here, and you could do something really special in here with your quilting. So there's lots of different things that you can do. And I'm just playing around here. I'm not. Yeah, let's do this. Let's see what that looks like. There's a different look. Got this row facing one direction, this row facing the other. So lots of different things that you can do with this block. And you can also put these on point, which I believe is probably what this design. Let's see, do it this way so that you can see it right side up. Like here's the base of the boat, and then here's the sails. That's my take on it. I'm not sure if this was meant to be on point or not, but if we did it like that, and then you'd have, you know, put alternate blocks in, or you could. I can't get all of this in, I'm afraid, but you could do that too. So there's lots of different things you can do with this block. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to click the like button and click the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and share this video with your friends. And I hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.